You know what's really expensive? Motocross. And one question that I get all the time on Instagram, I've seen comments for it on YouTube, and that I've even gotten in person, is how do you get sponsors? And in this video, I'm going to talk about how my little brother Colby got a shit ton of sponsors on his own and kind of the approach that he took with it, and how I've gotten sponsors and how I'm currently getting sponsors approaching me, either directly or literally through my family and stuff, and how I'm in talks with some of them right now. And then basically how I would approach it, both if you're a fast rider or if you're a slower rider. If you don't know me, I'm Logan Lesser, a national motocross racer, having won over 15 state championships and an amateur national championship. I'm an extreme sports athlete and ran a marketing agency for over 4 years, growing it to $30,000 a month. And while doing so, was able to travel the world living in Cape Town, South Africa, part-time throughout the past few years. And I've spent nearly $50,000 on mentors, coaches, courses, and education, learning from the best of the best in business, fitness, mindset, racing, and so on. Now I'm sharing what I've learned and growing my community, the Champion Protocol, linked in the description below. By the way, I'm super excited because I finally released my motocross fitness programs, and I'm going to be releasing the riding masterclass and mindset masterclass here soon. So the links to all of that is in the description below, or I should say link. It's the first link in the description below, and it'll take you to all that, so you can check it out if you want, as well as my online community. So anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. So like I mentioned, I get the question a lot of how do you get sponsors, and I don't want to delay things. I want to jump right into it. So my little brother Colby has absolutely kicked ass when it comes to getting sponsors. Like, honestly, I'm very proud of him for what he's done with that, because I don't know what drove him to do it, but literally years ago, and he's only 15 right now, and he was probably like 12 when he started doing it, but he just started working on getting sponsors on his own, and my parents started to help him out and stuff as well, but he really drove it, and he's what started getting him. And long story short, what he did is he found out who he needed to reach out to at each of the brands and stuff that he wanted to work with, such as like Thor, Fox, 100%, even like Bel-Ray oils and stuff, like basically every brand and company that he wanted to be sponsored by. And then obviously my dad gave him some ideas of what sponsors to get, because he obviously is the one ordering parts and all that stuff, so he knows, like, all right, Colby, try and get a deal with like Bel-Ray or something like that. So regardless, he basically found out like who he needed to reach out to, so he did some research into like who the people are at each of the companies and the brands who obviously take care of like sponsorships and stuff like that, and he found their contact details and everything, which isn't very hard. Like, if you search it up and look into these brands and stuff, go to their website, you'll be able to see who to reach out to and everything. So that's pretty simple. But he found that in terms of like who to reach out to, and then he basically put together his resume. And one thing that he did that I helped him do, and I think I even put it together for me as well, and we sent it to people, and this was like multiple years ago. But basically we used this program, which I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's called Canva, Canva. And if you go to it, you can use it for free. But I mean, if you have to pay for it, it's not that expensive. It's like $15 a month or something like that, I think. But regardless, we used that to basically put together this really nice page as a resume for Colby and myself. And basically we made it look really, really nice with a really nice background and stuff, included some photos of us riding and everything. But for the most part, it basically just laid out our results that we've gotten from races and stuff, and basically just laying out exactly like who we are, what our goals are, like what we're doing right now in terms of, training. And at the time, I think when we first put it together, we were training at Quick's Moto Ranch down in Texas. So we were already training full-time and everything. I had won the Baja Brawl amateur championship, and then also all of my like state championships and everything. So I added all that on there, as well as my results from like Minios. I think I had just gotten a 4th overall at Minios the previous year, and then like 10th overall at Loretta's and stuff like that. And then Colby added all of his credentials as well, which his credentials have only gotten better since then. But basically just adding like all the best results from the big races and everything, or the biggest races that we had done, and we just laid it all on there. So basically just put together a really nice resume, and it wasn't like something crazy long. It was literally one single page. That's it. It was just super simple. And honestly, looking back, I think that that's one reason it worked really well, is because it was one page and it made it just super simple, so that whoever we sent it to, it's not like we were sending them 15 pages and like an essay of why we're looking for a sponsor and all this stuff and our goals and our life story and all this. Like, they don't have time for that. Like, ideally they can look at one page and understand at least enough to be able to decide whether or not you're somebody worth looking into, in terms of if you're ready for a sponsorship deal or something like that. So anyway, that's kind of what we did in a nutshell, is put together just that one single page, made it look really nice, had some photos of us and everything. But in terms of the meat and potatoes of what was in it, it was obviously just like who we are a bit, and what we're doing right now in terms of training and everything, what our goals are, and why we're looking for sponsors and all of that. And then obviously included all of our top race results and everything, to show that we're actually like decent at riding and racing and stuff. So that's that. And that's obviously tough to do if you don't have the results and you don't have that to share. Now, obviously, it's still worth doing. And maybe instead of sharing as much of the results, you can focus more on like who you are, why you need sponsors, and what your goals are and everything, and what you're doing in terms of training and all that stuff. So maybe focus more on that, and just focus on where you think you can kind of prove to the sponsor why they should sponsor you in the first place. So I think that's just important to keep in mind. But anyway, that's kind of what we did in terms of, or what Colby, really, he's the main one who did it. What he did and how he approaches, he put that together, and then I helped him on like the design side and using Canva and stuff. But then he just sent that out to all these different sponsors and everything, and started getting replies and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much how he really got his sponsors. And then obviously over the years, he's just gotten better with results and all of that. And then it's just opened the doors to more and more sponsors, just because of how he's done. And like him winning Loretta's last year, obviously that opened the door for a lot of things. So the results is definitely important. But regardless, like I said at the beginning of the video, I want to talk about how to get sponsors, not only if you're fast, but also if you're slower and you just kind of want to, get sponsors to be able to afford doing the sport that you love and doing motocross. Now, what I'm talking about right now and what I just mentioned, that's more for if you're fast and you got the results, and maybe you're training full time and everything, because that's a big thing. Like if you're training full time at a facility, even if you don't have the results, that's still going to be a little enticing to the sponsors of like, okay, these guys are committed, like they're living at this training facility, like they're putting in the work, they're probably worth looking into in terms of a sponsorship and stuff. So that's that in terms of if you're fast and everything. But if you're slower, and even if you are fast, I think this is absolutely essential. And this is how I have started to, without even trying and without even the intention of it, how I've started to get some sponsors approaching me. And even like right now I'm potentially in talks with Thor, like gear and stuff, and getting free gear from them and everything like that. And literally it's just because they started talking to my parents and stuff at Loretta's this past week, and my parents started texting me and they're like, hey, reach out to these guys, they want to talk with you and stuff. And I was like, sweet. So yeah, nothing like for sure yet, but I'm in talks now apparently. So, and I'm going to explain kind of how it led to that and what happened, and then what you can do, whether you're slow, fast, whatever, and how you can really be able to get some sponsors. Now, in order to really drive the point home with what I'm about to mention, the first thing to understand is why they want to sponsor you anyway. Like, why do sponsors want to sponsor riders, and why would they want to sponsor you in the first place? Like, what's in it for them? Like, you got to understand that to understand how to actually get them to sponsor you. And at the end of the day, what these sponsors are businesses. Like that, they're businesses and brands, and their end goal is to make more money. They want to profit. They want to profit off of you by sponsoring you. They're not just giving you free stuff and sponsoring you out of the goodness of their hearts, most likely. Like most, if not 99% of these brands and companies are not charities. Like they are for-profit businesses, and they want to make money. And the way that they make money big time, such as like, Monster Energy, Red Bull, all of these big companies, the way that they make their money, and the way that a lot of these brands like those got their start was by working with influencers and really big name people so that those people could promote their brand and their product to their audience, and then that audience ended up becoming customers, which obviously grew the brand and made it what it is today, such as like Monster Energy and Red Bull and stuff. So that's why they want to sponsor you, is to make more money. And really, the way they make more money through you is by you being able to promote their brand and their business to your audience of people and to the people who look up to you and follow you. Now, if you're a really fast rider and you're out there winning your class and everything, then obviously you've got a lot of other riders and a lot of spectators and people watching you, looking up to you. And if people are looking up to you and they see you as the authority or the expert or the best at what it is you're doing and what they want to do, which is ride and race and everything, then they're going to want to use the same stuff as you. Like what gear you're wearing, what helmet you're wearing, what goggles, what energy drink you drink, like all that type of stuff. They want to mimic what you're doing because clearly it's working. That's one of the main reasons why fast riders and stuff get all the sponsors and everything. But when it comes to if you're not necessarily the best of the best, or you kind of just ride more as a hobby, but you want to be able to get sponsorships or even make money off of it, that's another thing, because you can get brand deals and stuff, which is something that I've started to get approached with, which to be honest, I wasn't even like intending for that to happen. It just did because of what I'm about to talk about. But literally you can profit from doing what you love, which is motocross and riding and stuff. And the way you do it is by getting exactly what these sponsors want, which is eyeballs. Because at the end of the day, these sponsors want more customers, and those customers come from eyeballs and from reaching more of an audience and everything. So if you can build that audience and get those eyeballs, sponsors will reach out to you, or when you reach out to them, you'll have a big advantage when you reach out because you've got exactly what they want, which is eyeballs. And the best way to do that is social media. So if you can build your personal brand online the way that I have been, and now I have, at least at the time of recording this, I've got like just over 11,000 followers on Instagram, and then like coming up to 700 subscribers on YouTube and everything. So as far as like where I'm looking to take in stuff, I'm still at the very beginning, but I've already started getting approached by certain brands and even sponsors such as like Thor and everything, having them want to work with me because of the fact that I now have authority in the space of motocross, and I'm gathering quite a few eyeballs and everything, like 11,000 followers. A lot of my videos get thousands of views, sometimes tens of thousands, 30,000, 100,000 views, and then I've had a couple that have had over 1 million views. So that's a lot of eyeballs, and these brands want those eyeballs because they want to turn them into customers. So honestly, I think the best thing to do, whether you are fast or whether you're slow and just kind of do motocross as a hobby and stuff, is get those eyeballs and build the personal brand by posting on social media and building your audience. And when you do that, then you're going to have these brands reaching out to you, or when you reach out to them, they're much more likely to want to work with you. So I think I'm a pretty good example of how to do it, to be honest. Like, it's been working pretty well for me, and I'm literally in the motocross space. So if you're a motocrosser, then you can look at kind of what I'm doing and do that. Now, obviously, I mainly make videos talking about like how to ride, the mindset behind it, all this stuff. But when it comes to building your personal brand and everything, like as just a general motocross rider and stuff, it really just comes down to posting very, very consistently and posting videos of you riding and everything. And also, I think it is important to post videos of you talking and kind of sharing what it is you're doing. Like, you don't gotta do what I'm doing. You don't gotta make videos on like technique, how to ride, how to think, how to do this, how to do that. Like, you don't even gotta do that. You just gotta or you can just post videos of, you know, your daily routine, going to the track, or how you're working out, like showing you working out and kind of showing what you're eating and stuff and what you're doing. Like, really just kind of posting your life and everything. And I think a really good example of somebody who has absolutely kicked ass at doing this is Cade Johnson. So if you go on social media and stuff, search up Cade Johnson. I think he's done an absolute killer job at building his personal brand. That he's got like over 100,000 followers now, I'm pretty sure. So he's killed it. And then obviously Deegan, they've absolutely dominated when it comes to building a personal brand and everything. Like, to be honest, Hayden Deegan doesn't even need to have the speed that he has, and he doesn't even need to have the results that he has to have the sponsors that he has. Like, he would still have all these sponsors and all these deals coming his way, even if he wasn't the fastest guy out there, simply because he has what the sponsors want, which is eyeballs, and he has authority. He just has the eyeballs and everything and the following that these sponsors want to tap into. So he doesn't even need to be as fast as he is. Now, obviously, he's basically got the whole package. He's got the eyeballs, but he's also got the skills, and he's just out there winning and everything. So he's definitely doing it all, but he doesn't even need to be out there winning, and I guarantee he'd still have all the sponsors and stuff because he just simply has the eyeballs and the following and everything. So that's honestly the biggest thing I'd say is, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, really putting together a nice resume, sending it out, obviously, to the sponsors that you want a deal with and everything, and seeing what you can get and stuff. But overall, like, the number one thing, whether you're fast, slow, doesn't matter, I think, is building your personal brand and building that audience. Because once you build that audience, then that's what sponsors want, is they want those eyeballs. They want to work with people who are an authority in the space and can basically promote their product and everything. That's why I've started to get reached out to, because, for example, Thor, from what my parents told me with the conversation they had with the main guy at Thor, is that they're like, we love what Logan's doing, we love his content and everything, but we want him in Thor. Like, we want him wearing Thor in those videos and stuff. And basically, they want my audience and the thousands of people who watch my videos, they want them to see me wearing Thor gear and stuff and promoting their brand and everything. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. Build your personal brand, post on social media, post consistently. I think that people that you can really look at as inspiration in terms of like how to do it and stuff is not to like be egotistical or anything, but I think I've done a pretty decent job at it. So you can have a look at kind of how I'm approaching it. I definitely have a look at Cade Johnson. He's kicked ass with it. And he kicks ass at racing and stuff in general. So to be honest, I just think he's good to look at anyway. And then obviously Deegan, they've done a phenomenal job building a massive audience. So yeah, those are just some people off the top of my head that I think you can look into just to kind of get some inspiration from and stuff. My little brother's also done a pretty good job. I'm about to pass him in followers, so I'll technically be the better one when it comes to that. But you can also have a look at Colby's Instagram and have a look at what he's done. So yeah, if I was to critique him with something though, which I've told him before, is I've told him that he needs to post not only riding videos, because you'll notice pretty much all his videos are just like him riding, but he needs to post more videos of like him talking and sharing what he's doing and sharing what he's up to and kind of how the day's going or how this training day went or how that workout was or what he's eating and kind of just sharing a bit more of his life and documenting his journey in his life a bit more versus only posting riding videos. So just keep that in mind. That's what I've told him numerous times that he needs to do. He just hasn't done it yet. But I'm going to stay on his ass with it. But anyway, hopefully that was helpful. If you want more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. Let me know if you got any questions in the comments. And like I said, I finally released the new motocross fitness program, and I've got more stuff coming. So it's the top link in the description below. Feel free to check that out. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.